Two Vietnamese kids are gambling with their lives. At a young age, they are playing Russian roulette. Coins are used first to determine the order of priority. The player has to insert any bullet into the revolver, spin the wheel, and then close it. Finally, take turns to shoot themselves in the head. Play this was shot in the head of many people. It's all about luck whether you can survive or not. But this kid is not afraid at all, because he is not betting on his own life. In this place, prisoners are just an expendable commodity, so they added a Chinese man. And this time, it was the headband man's turn to shoot. If the gun doesn't go off, it means lost this time. The uniformed man continues. And that means the next shot has a good chance of killing someone. But just as he pulls the trigger and is about to fire, a Viet Cong officer suddenly came over and gave the men a good scolding. This Chinese uncle's life had to be saved for questioning. As soon as the officer left, the remaining man was put a gun to his head. The old man was lucky to escape, but he was put back in the water prison by the Viet Cong. Many of his Chinese companions were still in the water prison. Seeing the slackened defense, the crowd immediately killed a Viet Cong. Then Lao Hong changed into his clothes and impersonated him, called the guards around to create an escape for his companions. He then exterminated them all himself. At this time, his companions also came out of the water. The Viet Cong were caught off guard. Under their cover, OE emerged from the water, but he saw a figure appear in front of him. When he grabbed him, he found that he was a child and immediately dropped his weapon. He probably didn't know what a Boy Scout was. The Vietnamese boy took the opportunity to escape, but OE eventually lost his life. Soon everyone was out of danger, but OE's brother threw his gun away and quit. Then the army was disorganized and everyone quit. It turned out that they were Chinese prisoners in an American cell, but they were trained by the U.S. Army to become a special forces team. Just go to Vietnam and complete a mission. Not only can they get freedom, but each of them has $200,000. And the U.S. Army's Lieutenant Colonel Uncle Ling is their leader. After arriving in Vietnam, there are 3 female Cambodian guerrillas to help, but don't even know what the mission is until now. Now Uncle Ling was at his wit's end. Just when he was about to tell the truth, but he was stopped by the old man before, because he found a spy in the team. When he was at the VC base, he saw his companion, the short-haired woman, making a phone call inside. The short-haired woman tried to run away when her identity was revealed, but she was shot in the head. Fearing that the VC would come after them, the rest of the group continued on, but they were stopped by a heavily guarded bridge. There were 2 machine guns at the end of the bridge and 2 machine guns at the end of the bridge. It would take 2 to 3 days to go around the bridge. There are Viet Cong reinforcements coming in the distance. They were obviously out of time. So Lao Hong immediately took 2 men to sneak in. Old Hong took out 2 hand grenades. He jumped from the hillside onto a VC truck. Then he pulled the ring with his mouth. Everyone was so scared that they didn't dare to move. This was like playing with their lives. They had to listen to him and put down their guns. And his companions went under the truck to avoid the security check on the bridge. He was about to reach the end of the bridge when Lao Hong tried to blow up the machine gun with a grenade, but the people in the car to stop. So he threw the grenade and then jumped out of the car when the opportunity arose. This explosion directly detonated the oil tanks on the bridge. At this time heard the explosion of companions have come to support, but was stopped on the bridge, cannot move. See the old Hong detour from the hill to jump to the roof, immediately occupied the machine gun battery. Take the machine gun a series of fire, but 2 brothers on the bridge were still shot. Seeing that the VC support troops were coming, the 2 brothers decided to stay behind and cover everyone's departure. They dragged their wounded bodies and set up the battery and aimed at the homemade bomb packs on the ground. They detonated the bombs when the VC vehicles were coming. They thought they had eliminated all the enemy, but a few tanks appeared. The Viet Cong had sent a well-equipped army. They knew they were doomed. Meanwhile, Lao Hong and his group crossed the valley. They found an American weapons depot. Inside were not only missiles, but also thousands of tons of explosives. It turned out that the weapons depot was left over from the U.S. Vietnam War. If it fell into the hands of Vietnam, the consequences would be unthinkable. The mission of the Special Operations Team was to destroy the weapons depot. But just as they were about to blow it up with bombs, the Cambodian guerrillas wanted to take the weapons for themselves. They were going to use these weapons to fight back against Vietnam. But Uncle Ling still insisted on completing his mission. Seeing his brother wounded, Lao Hong went straight up and kicked the woman's gun away. And another guerrilla was also jumped by his companion. Seeing the situation reverse, the woman tried to get the gun, but was chopped off by Lao Hong's hand with a knife. Just as the 2 were losing, the Viet Cong support troops suddenly arrived. They caught everyone off guard. When Lao Hong reacted, he immediately broke the switch in the basement, shutting most of the VC reinforcements out of the door, while a small portion of the enemy was inside. They attacked from time to time, but the VC still outnumbered them. It was obvious that they could not continue to fight like this. Their companions picked up 2 machine guns and went straight out to shoot. Although he killed a lot of people, he himself was also killed. Seeing this situation, the guerrilla leader immediately picked up the bombs on the ground. She wanted to cooperate with Hong and the others to blow up the place, and Lao Hong was trying to buy time to delay the Viet Cong. Finally, they ran out of bullets in their guns. Lao Hong pounced on the VC and started to fight. Meanwhile, the leader of the VC suddenly took the elevator downstairs. Ajay, desperately trying to stop the last, was beaten without the power to fight back. At the critical moment, Lao Hong suddenly appeared. He joined the situation, quickly reversed. The leader of the Viet Cong was finally blown up by them, and set off the alarm and sprinklers, because there were still many soldiers outside. In addition, the previous time bomb had more than 10 seconds to explode. They decided to escape through an underground pipe. At the moment of the explosion, they escaped from the waterfall, washed into the lake at the bottom of the mountain. In the end, the 3 of them escaped from death. They completed the mission called Project Condor, but the American promised a helicopter. I do not know if they will come to rescue them. This movie is called Eastern Condors. It's a rare war film in Hong Kong. If you like my commentary, please click a subscription. Thank you for your support.